Welcome back. We now are going to do a little bit of talking about the board and fundraising, a topic that sends shivers down the spine of many people when they realize that, oh my goodness, when I joined this board, I agreed to be part of a fundraising team.
Peggy, I'm so glad you brought that up because my board hates to fundraise. So, what kind of advice could you give?
Your board and just about every one of the nearly 1,000 nonprofit boards I have worked with in my long career hate to fundraise, or at least a good portion of the people would really rather have their back teeth extracted than have to ask their friends or family for money. So, how can we make board members who find this odious more comfortable with the idea that there are things that they can do that will generate new revenue for the Friends group and also just contribute to the health of the organization? Well, the first thing about fundraising is that you have to answer the why in a very compelling way. What do we need money for? What is it we want to do? What will this money help us do? What are the results of this fundraising? Because if people can buy into the dream, into the opportunity, into what is going to be different because they've made the effort, then they're more willing to make the effort, I think, just simply. And so we really want to be sure that you have a clear goal. Maybe it's that you need equipment to do clearing of the trails and you need to be able to buy, uh, you know, uh, landscaping equipment. Or maybe you want to build a beach so people can swim. Oh boy, that sounds great to me. Or maybe you want to build a playground so that when the children come, they've got some place that's fun and safe for them to be as their families enjoy the park. Or maybe it's all of these things, or it's something else that's unique and special to your particular friends group. But again, articulating a compelling idea, a vision that people can get excited about, is first important for you who are planning to do the fundraising, but is equally important for the people you're going to ask. Can you tell them a story that makes them want to whip out their checkbook is really important. And then getting clear on how much money do you need. Is this a $100 project or is this a $5,000 project? In working with the Friends groups over time, I've learned that you all have a wide variety of projects you undertake, building docks and repairing bridges and doing all manner of things that sound expensive to me, but also very useful. And so really getting clear on how much is it going to cost, and is any of the money going to come from other kinds of sources? So is the state providing any funds towards this particular project? Once again, when you ask people for money, you need to have good answers to legitimate questions. So, and this also tamps down some of the anxiety that may be bubbling beneath the surface in your board members if they, again, think the whole project through. Think what difference it's going to make. Get real about how much money it's going to take and to do what and why are we making that particular choice. And really work on the project plan with a clarity around the goal of what will be achieved and the goal about what it will cost and how we intend to raise that. I also believe that for every nonprofit, it's a bad idea to only have one way that somebody can raise money. So it is absolutely true that the most cost-effective way to raise money is to sit with someone in their home or office, look deeply in their eyes, tell them your story, and ask them for the money. Doesn't cost anything except your pride, but it also is the most effective way. If you look at the big colleges and universities and hospitals, believe me, they have people who are extremely skilled at directly looking at people, explaining the need that they have, and then asking them to step up and help. It is scary. It's also fun. I really enjoy doing it, but I have a theater background, and so I'm always interested in people's motivation and how we can capture their attention and capture their support. If that is not something that you could see yourself doing in a million years, then we have to have some other ways, don't we? And many friends groups use special events of one sort or another, a spaghetti supper, a run, a pledge walk, a variety of ways. And those are all good things to do because they tie back to your mission. They get people outside, enjoying each other's company, using the facilities. These are all things that will help your donor prospect understand the benefit of giving to the park because they're enjoying the park. And if it also is something that you enjoy, that translates too. People like to give to success. They like to give to people who seem to be having a good time in this asking for money. So special events are a fine way to go. The problem with them is they often have direct cost before you get the benefit of the donated dollar. So if you have to rent a tent for people to register for the run under, that's a cost. If you have to pay for food, that's a cost. And so you want to be sure that in anything that you undertake, you control the costs down to the last dollar, because you can wind up spending more than you take in, and now you haven't raised any money, you've lost it, and that's deadly. So be sure that if you decide to do a special event, you get as much donated as you possibly can, and you keep your costs at an absolute minimum. Now, one of the things I really like to suggest to boards is the house party idea, and that works as a special event, so it involves a group of people, it's a party, it's fun, but it also controls the direct costs entirely. Because the way a house party works is either you or perhaps 2 or 3 of you from the board would go together and sponsor a party in your home or at the park, and you would provide the food and drink as your donation to the friends group. You would also invite your friends to come and be part of the event. You might very well ask your park manager, if he or she is an appealing, supportive, interesting personality, to come and be a special guest of honor at this house party event and talk about the park and talk about what goes on there and make people real excited about what all is happening in the state park. But again, hear me, you bear the cost of food and drink, and any donations that are made go 100% to the fundraising goal that you have articulated for your project. It also is a way for you to give something to your friends and family more than just a letter, although a letter or a phone call also are ways that boards often raise money. And if you're doing a phone-a-thon and you think, no, I will not call my cousin, but my cousin likes the park, I know for sure, and probably would give if someone would call him, you also can contribute to that activity by giving your cousin's name and contact information and asking one of the other board members to make a call to someone that you know would be interested in helping the park thrive. So board members can help identify people who might be interested. They can help engage and entertain people who might be interested. They can risk it all and go sit and just straight up ask those people who might be interested. But once again, if you're hearing my thread here, you need to have more than one way in which you choose to raise money so that all of your board, who are all united in a responsibility to raise these funds, can pick the way that they find most comfortable and available, and be responsible to do part of the fundraising on their own. Getting in-kind donations to offset costs, selling tickets, inviting friends, cooking for the night. There are lots and lots of ways that volunteers have helped us over time. Many important ways. And as I want you all to know, $300 billion, I want to say that again, $300 billion was given to charity by Americans in 2012. We are an extraordinarily generous people. You who have chosen to serve on a Friends board are showing your generosity by the very virtue of listening to this video. So tap that part of your spirit and your heart that says, I want this park to be beautiful. I want this park to be available to kids and families, to old people, to runners, to swimmers, to fishermen, to the whole big lot of people who benefit from your work. And because I want that so badly, I am willing to raise money for my friends group. I know you're going to be successful. I will be using the state parks, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for a place for me to walk my beautiful corgis. Thanks a lot. Bye.